That's right, believers. It's that time. It's that night of the week. It's time for another edition of the Lucha Underground After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We are talking Havoc Running Wild, so stick around because you're not going to want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Just let this be the show.
Yeah.
It's Cube can say it better.
Two white people talking about rap music. I love it.
That's why I'd rather just let Cube take it away.
Token white guys. That's what we'll call this show.
As white as it can be, guys. That's right. It's Thursday night. It's a little bit after 10. We're getting there. We're getting a little better. This is the Lucha Underground After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. My name is Ty Matthews. You guys can find me online, all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Not with us tonight is Rachel Evans. You can find her online at Rachel Sam Evans or Rachel Sam Evans. Depends on how your brain works, or www.youtube.com/snarls or www.youtube.com/slaytricks. But
WWWs are very important.
They're very, very important. You can't. Sometimes people forget those. Then it's very important. But to her imaginary left, joining us as always, he's usually in the booth. He's not in the booth. His handsome face is on this panel, as it is week after week. You can find him online at Jimbo in the booth. But tonight he's in the studio. He's James Franck.
Hi. Welcome.
Welcome to you. And joining us on the ones and twos, manning Nancy, our soundboard, is Mr. Neil Plumley.
Returning. Nerdly-wed Neil Plumley.
What's up, guys?
The recently returned from Hawaii, Neil Plumley.
Yeah, I just got back from Hawaii. Just got off the plane a good 48 hours ago. Still feel pretty loose, me hombre. Still feel real good.
I was really hoping he'd be like, I just flew in and boy are my arms tired.
And
I like to keep my ohana tight. Hang loose, everyone.
Yeah.
incredible.
Mahalo.
Oh, so happy to be here. So happy to be here. We've got a lot to talk about in tonight's episode, but we've got a couple things to touch on first. First, a little bit of housekeeping. Side note, before we get to the housekeeping, remember, if you're on YouTube, leave us a comment is what I meant to say. A comment or a thumbs up. Or if you're on iTunes, download, comment, review, subscribe, rate. 5 stars if you're nasty. You know the drill. We want to talk to you about Lucha while you talk to us about Lucha. And we're all just a big, happy, believing family.
Well, that's terrific.
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
like
you,
a
Kermit.
cult, the way you put it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
We're just
right.
a big happy family of believers.
Dario would have it no other way. But guys,
What is this?
let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Now, as always, we thank you guys so much for your support week after week, and we actually have some exciting news about AFTERBUZZ as a network. Whether you're a new listener or a longtime AFTERBUZZ fan, you know that we are the world's #1 destination for TV coverage. So, to that end, starting next month, we're going to be expanding our content beyond just after shows to bring you a whole slate of new content, new formats, and new guests. Now, that doesn't mean our after shows are going anywhere. They're stay put, right where they are. They're just evolving. You know, that's how things go. They evolve. Most of the shows you love, much like this show, are only on air for a part of the year. As we know, we've only got a few weeks until Ultima Lucha starts, and then a few weeks after that, and then season 3's kaput. Most shows only air for a part of the year, but during the rest of the year, these shows have news constantly breaking that we know that you guys want to talk about. So as the ESPN of TV talk, we know that it's our job to cover it. Now, we're going to have in-depth coverage for comedies, dramas, animated shows, truly absolutely anything you can imagine. Not a single thing is off limits. And given that no limits approach to TV coverage, we realize that sometimes it can be hard to find the shows that you love. So we listen. We're restructuring our website, our shows, and our platforms to make it that much easier to find what it is you're looking for. Now, our YouTube channel is going to be divided into 9 sections by genre. You're going to have dramas, you're going to have comedies, you're going to have reality shows, you're going to have reality competition shows, you're going to have, of course, wrestling and sports, animation, sci-fi, fantasy, and superheroes, red carpets, and last but certainly not least, our own featured and original content. That's right, we're starting to churn out our original stuff, so that's very, very exciting. There's so much to be excited about, but it's not going to happen all overnight. As the network develops, we're going to be experimenting to cater to your TV desires, which means your participation and your feedback will be essential to deliver these custom shows. So to keep up to date with everything, be sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter launching in September and check out our show AfterBuzz Weekly with Megan Stecher. Stecker. Oh man, I've been saying Stecher this whole time.
You're not the only one.
I'm very sorry, Megan. Megan Stecker. I'm the goddamn.
You're definitely the best person that's done that because I've heard that thing so many times, dude. So many times.
Trying to keep it lively.
Damn. I was like, damn, Ty is freaking killing this shit right now.
Thank you. So keep your eye on AfterBuzzTV.com. Keep your eye on AfterBuzz Weekly with Megan Stecher. Remember that, Stecher. You know, if you're nasty.
Follow on Twitter at Megan Stecher.
We've got housekeeping out of the way. Another thing that I wanted to talk about. We try to keep it pretty upbeat here. We try to keep it pretty positive, almost to a fault sometimes.
Yeah, there's enough podcasts that just bury the way they feel about wrestling.
Exactly. AfterBuzz, just as a whole, is meant for superfans, and God knows we are huge fans of the show. So we want to keep things positive. We want to be happy. But we realize that sometimes stuff happens. As we just talked about, us being the ESPN of TV talk, we need to talk about this news. We didn't really touch on a lot of the politics of the AAA situation that happened not too long ago
with Vampiro,
and Taya and Johnny Mundo. But I feel like it would be naive. A good friend of the show, a listener, a supporter, Joe Colble, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, at Joseph K3, he tweeted us earlier today, asked us if we would be addressing the Sexy Star situation, and at first I wasn't sure if we were going to. And I don't want this to reflect on the show, on Lucha Underground, because we're still huge fans of everyone that's involved, and we're huge fans of the show. But I feel like it would be naive to pretend like nothing's happening and to not address this huge elephant in the room that's directly involved with one of the main characters on this show. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I believe it was last week, AAA had Triple Mania, which is ostensibly the Lucha Libre equivalent of WrestleMania. They had Psycho Clown versus Dr. Wagner Jr., Mask versus Mask. It's this huge, epic show. Also featured on the show was a 4-way women's match between Sexy Star, Rosemary of GFW, Ayako Hamada, and Lady Shanai. And things got a little bit heated during the match. It seemed like Sexy Star and Lady Shanai kind of started shooting on each other. Things got very heated. And then at the end of the match, Sexy Star hits Rosemary with an iconoclasm and then locks in a cross arm breaker. And from the way the video looks, certainly from all reports, it seemed like Sexy Star kind of started actually legitimately torquing the arm of Rosemary, really locking in that cross arm breaker, which is, people don't realize, is one of the most legitimately dangerous moves.
These moves are real.
They're very real. That's the thing.
Accidents happen.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, we talk about this show where people get their fucking heads eaten and there's dragons breathing fire, but wrestling is still legitimately dangerous, and these holds are often very real holds that can have very real consequences.
I don't remember who it was, but maybe it was Rip Rogers. Was talking about people can watch UFC and MMA now, and like they're giving you the answers. Mm-hmm. So you know when you watch a UFC fight and someone locks on an armbar and they don't tap instantly, that their arm is screwed. So to see her put in this armbar and get it like yanked on the way it was, is like, oh,
and obviously we're going off the video. The video is kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, it's not the best.
You know,
it's not like a JFK back into the left situation.
It's no Zapruder film, but it's hard to watch, and it's until we hear anything to the contrary. Rosemary definitely didn't deserve to be put in a legitimate hold like that, and to be injured when she put her trust in her opponent. And people that we know, people like Joey Ryan and people like Cody Rhodes have tweeted their thoughts on the matter, and we're not gonna weigh on it too long. We do still want to keep the show as light as we can, but for all intents and purposes, that's it looks like that's what happened.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse for that. As professional wrestlers, you put your body in the hands of your opponent, as Joey said on Twitter. And to violate that is completely inexcusable.
Well, you could definitely speak to this better than I can.
And that's and that's another thing is I try to approach the show from a fan's perspective, from a fan's point of view, and I try not to let my experience as a wrestler kind of color my perspective. But with this situation, that's definitely something that I can relate to. I've been a professional wrestler for 17 years now, and stuff like that there's absolutely no excuse for it. And like I said, until we see some sort of evidence that she must have done something deplorable to deserve that, that's all we can say. That's all we can say is that trust was broken, and
that's like
and
an
it
unwritten
sucks.
rule, and
It's an unwritten rule in wrestling, and it's super sucks, and it's super disappointing for us, for such huge fans of the show and stuff like that. So we're gonna continue on. That's gonna kind of be all we really sort of touch on. It's a super shitty thing. Luckily, Rosemary was not hurt that badly. From what it seemed like she'll be back in I think maybe a matter of weeks, maybe a month or two, something like that. But
if anything, it made her stock rise.
Yeah, really. I mean, everyone's talking about her at the very least.
People who might have been like, "Who?"
Right, exactly.
What company is she in? Now at least are like, "Oh, that girl."
Sure. And I'm not entirely that familiar with GFW, but I've seen her work before, and I'm a huge fan of that kind of stable and the things that I don't know if she's still in that stable.
I don't know
or not.
if Decay is even around.
That was
anymore,
that's what it was. Yeah.
I like that she's different.
Exactly.
Than all the other women in wrestling right now.
Right.
That gives her an edge.
Exactly. So we wanted to get that out of the way, and we want to start talking about stuff like that a little bit more often. I don't think that obviously doesn't reflect on Lucha Underground. We're still huge fans of the show, and we're still going to continue watching and covering it.
Absolutely.
But it's a little bit disappointing, and it's going to make enjoying those parts of the show a little bit more difficult.
Well, it just made you think when they had their little spot during the Joey Ryan match of like, oh shit,
Right.
you know, like,
Right.
how old this was taped and where their storyline is going in the show.
Sure.
But what is going on in real life?
Right.
It's kind of weird.
Exactly. And so thank you guys for bearing with us with that. If I'm not the most articulate person, it's because I kind of just decided to touch on this before we came into the studio. But thank you to Joe for kind of sparking this and being a listener, being a catalyst. Exactly. Very, very good word. But let's get into the episode. Let's talk about some lucha action. Let's talk about some cage monsters. Thank you very much. That's perfect. Let's talk about some cage monsters. Let's talk about Dario and Matanza.
I don't know why, but when you said that, I pictured like a shark cage in the water, but it's like if Brian Cage could morph into different things, so like form of a shark cage, and Brian Cage turns into a shark cage, and there's just like Matanza and the Loch Ness monster and the creature from the Black Lagoon and just like all these monsters inside of him. I don't know why. My brain,
That sounds kind of interesting.
yeah, my brain's kind of weird, Kermit. Sorry.
Exactly.
But basically, Dario's like, I love you. You're my brother, and I'm gonna let you fight Rey Mysterio because he hit me with the 619, and that wasn't cool.
Nope. That's not cool.
I want you to destroy him.
Yeah.
And he just like pets his
Exactly.
face.
It's
Gently
family.
caresses his face.
It's family bonding.
Imagine like holiday special at the Dario Cueto house. Like,
Family gathering.
Christmas from the Cuetos. Feliz Navidad with the Cuetos.
Oh man, the Christmas cards would be phenomenal.
It's all just like the casket coming out of the ground and like Matanza with the bull statue in his hand. I don't know. It'd be great. Oh,
I like it.
That'd be fun.
So we've got this common enemy of Rey Mysterio. You know, Dario thought that Matanza was kind of being led astray by his rage and his kind of anger over Rey Mysterio, but now all bets are off. Now you humiliated the boss in his own temple.
Yeah.
On his own Aztec seal, no less.
You think that Dario's doing this not only to get revenge and take Rey out, but just in case Matanza gets taken over by the god and Dario can't control him anymore, at least he gets this thing checked off his list.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes and when inevitably Matanza and Cage's paths do cross.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they've got to by the end of the season at some point, right?
The irresistible force versus the immovable object.
Right, exactly. Two god men
Yeah.
in the temple.
I'm not a god. I'm
man.
not the god, but a god.
A god. There you go. But speaking, we need Godfrey back, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Agent
Make
Winter.
7 up yours.
Make 7 up yours. One of my favorite advertising campaigns. Next up, we've got Son of Madness taking on Masquerita Sagrada.
I was like, this asshole in his vest. And then Sagrada came out with a vest on, and I was like, hell yeah, I love that he has a vest.
Hey, him and Son of Havoc are Bagel
They're
Bite
boys.
buds.
Yeah. They're part of
They're part of the Bagel Bite boys.
the Bagel Bite Bikers.
the Bagel Bikers.
Biker Boys, that was an awful movie. So
Was it Kid Rock in that?
I don't know, but it was so
I
terrible.
feel like Kid Rock might have been in that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go YouTube that shit.
yeah, you know.
Sagrada's vest was great. Madness, because you know how sometimes in matches they'll be like, oh, I can't hit a woman, or like, oh, come on, I don't want to beat him up. I think we've had that in the temple where Tejano, I think, didn't want to beat him up, or
Oh yeah.
Famous B didn't want to.
I feel like that's how everyone should be in the temple. Like the temple is all inclusive. All bets are off. It's all about bloodshed, no matter who you are.
I like violence.
I like violence.
Equal opportunity ass kickers.
Exactly. Like
Shout
Race.
out to Race.
So yeah. But Hennis,
Yeah.
the return of our Hennis, the first time we're seeing him since the first round of the Cueto Cup.
Well, before
Getting
that
his arm
happened,
broken.
Havoc comes out
Oh, that's
to
right.
get his vest back.
That's right.
Dario's like,
Good call.
okay, I'm gonna
Good call.
make a biker brawl between you guys
a biker brawl.
at the end of the night.
Right.
So then that
And not only
put a
that,
pin in that.
not only that, it's going to be a biker brawl for one of the ancient Aztec medallions.
Yeah, because we got to get rid of those. We need the gift of the gods back.
Exactly. We've got 3 of them distributed right now. We've got Paul
all of
London.
the rabbit tribe.
Exactly. The entire rabbit tribe, Paul London, Saltador, Malasuerte, all each hold an Aztec medallion. So they will be entered in the gift of the gods match, as well as the winner of this biker brawl. But for now, let's talk about Argenis, the return of the mighty Argenis, taking on Marty the Moth Martinez.
His creepy factor was up extra high.
Oh, amped all the way
Amped
up.
Fully.
Of course.
Fully creepy.
Argenis, man, that guy just can't catch a break.
No. I felt bad. I felt bad for him because he rips his mask and he's beating the shit out of him. And there's a point where he's about to throw him into the ring post, but like the way his mask is ripped and how he's holding his head, you pretty much see his entire face.
Right.
And I was thinking they should have just blurred that. That
Right.
would have been cooler for me to see like a blur over his face, and if Matt Stryker would have been like, "Oh, due to the graphic,
That'd be kind of cool.
the
Yeah.
graphic imagery on the TV, we had to blur it,
Right, right,
especially because then he's bleeding later on, and it's like, wait a minute, like
Although,
how bad was it?
right, exactly. Although if they're going to show the fork assault
Yeah.
that we saw on Phoenix, I guess all bets are off. But yeah, Marty ends up getting the win with his sort of Argentine backbreaker, maybe Canadian
His, like,
backbreaker into a lung
His
blower.
moss kiss or whatever.
Is that what they call it?
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. Yeah, that's much easier to say. It's a very
He went for a leapfrog, and Argenis just grabs his foot and counters it.
I
Just,
love
like,
that
drops it.
spot.
I was like, this is so simple.
That's
but
one of my
great.
favorite spots ever. I feel like maybe Danny Bertononi Lorcan might have done that a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
on NXT. I love that spot. It's simple stuff like
Clever
that,
girl.
you know? Exactly. Clever girl.
Clever girl.
It's stuff like that. If you've been watching the Mae Young Classic, there was a cool spot in the Kaylee Ray Princess Suhei match where Kaylee Ray actually I think trips her or gets tripped with a drop down. And it's little twists like that on things that we've seen over and over and over that really stick in your head, you know?
Not to veer off too much, but Marty the Moth yesterday on Xbox podcast, we interviewed Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Awesome.
And he was talking about Marty the Moth and his experience with him at Tough Enough.
Oh, yeah.
And all the people he worked with at Tough Enough and all the great shit that they're doing in Lucha and how much he loves Lucha. We brought up Willie Mack and Willie Mack using his stunner, and he full on endorsed Willie using his stunner.
Incredible.
He was like, I love it.
Oh, Willie
Kid
must have
can
been...
work. I want to get him on my show. So I was so pumped to be able to like text Willie and be like, hey, we asked Austin about that today. He's like, what'd he say? I'm like, oh, he was all for it. He's like, hell yeah, now those internet trolls can stop fucking talking shit.
If Austin...
Hell to the no!
Exactly.
That's what Willie said.
It was great.
If Austin himself says it's okay. Exactly.
Hold up.
Man, shut up.
Y'all remember Hey Dude?
Y'all remember Global Gun? So let's...
Legend of the Hidden Temple.
So after the Marty the Moth pretty much decimates Arhennis,
Yeah,
rips his
poor
mask
guy.
off, bloodies him up, has his sights set on Melissa. He wants to take the mask of Phoenix. He takes the mask of Arhennis, but he says that's not the mask he wants. He wants Phoenix's mask. He wants to show everyone, he wants to show the world how ugly he really is. So Phoenix comes out, obliges him, gives him a super kick for his troubles, as well as Mariposa. And it turns out we're getting, at Ultima Lucha Trace, we're getting Lucha de Apuestas. We are getting Máscara contra Cabellera, mask versus hair. I am very excited.
That's great.
Super
I
pumped.
hope Brutus the Barber Beefcake shows up.
Oh
in
my
the
God,
title.
with his giant shears.
He's like, call the gardener. And he just turns around and he's just got those big ass shears. That would be great.
I would lose my mind. That'd be incredible.
But thinking about like Arhennis losing and then thinking about like was it Belgala?
Bengala.
What if we get like a lucha job squad? Or it's
Oh,
like
man.
all the luchadors that just always just get destroyed.
Right.
There's like
That'd be
enough is enough and it's time for a change.
that'd be pretty awesome. I was super on board with the Job Squad.
They're great.
That was pretty awesome.
The Union?
Too Cold Scorpio. Oh my God, the Union. I forgot about the Union. What was that? Tess, Shamrock, Big Show, Mankind?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Incredible. That steam whistle at the beginning of the song. But yeah, in fact, when Mascarita Sagrada came out for his match against Son of Madness, Melissa announced him as El Pequeño Tigre Blanco. And like for a split second, I was like, wait, Bengala? Bengala's back? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, big cat.
Hell yeah, Bengala. Do you? Make it work. Next up, we've got Sexy Star taking on Joey Ryan in kind of the continuation of this saga between Joey and Officer Reyes. Joey is up to his old tricks with his blow pop at the ready. But of course, trolling ass Taya hits ringside
With her sign.
with a sign and just being delightfully obnoxious. I loved it.
So great.
I loved it. Eventually, Sexy Star gets fed up, hits a seated senton from the apron, is distracted just long enough to eat a super kick and take the L from Joey.
Yeah. I wrote down Joey gives a beating and takes a beating.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause they just kicked the shit out of each other.
Exactly.
Started off with her just chopping the crap out of him, and then when he finally got to lay it in on her, he didn't hold back.
Right. And then after the match, Joey is still in the ring, gets bum rushed by Officer Reyes with a kendo stick in tow. Just gets
Bad form.
knocked around. Bad form. Gets knocked around with that kendo stick, choked with it. And then later on in Dario's office, we see a conversation between Officer Reyes, Dario Cueto, kind of dissecting this whole situation. Dario knows he's a cop. He knows Joey's a cop. So next week, he's going to put them in what he calls a 5-0 street fight. I believe that's what he called it. I know the 5-0 is right. I think it was a street fight. Basically, weapons of all sorts are going to be scattered around the ring to do with what they will. And the winner of that match will get the 5th after tonight as Ancient Aztec Medallion.
And then we only have 2 left?
Yes. So, yeah, with that, with the winner of tonight's main event. So let's talk about that main event. Let's talk about the Biker Brawl. Son of Havoc taking on Son of Madness. 2 members of the Invisible Cult squaring off.
There were a lot of crazy moments, especially like fighting all over the temple. The backdrop into the guardrail.
Oh, God.
Holy shit.
It's one of those things where it's not the moment of impact that's the scary part. It's hitting the ground after that.
Oh yeah.
Like hitting the guardrail. That I'm sure that hurt, but it was hitting the
but
ground.
then you're just like, oh shit.
Right. There's one way to go, and it's upside down.
Not fun.
Right.
The double stomp off the guardrail was badass.
And not only that, but we've also got to talk about Son of Madness's catapult double stomp to the outside.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say where he goes for like what looks like a double underhook pedigree type move, and then he spins him around, and then he spins him around again, and he hits him with a clothesline. It was like a weird way into the Rainmaker.
Yeah,
kind of like,
it was very
instead of doing the
interesting.
ripcord into the Rainmaker, it was like a do-si-do spin into the Rainmaker. I was like, oh, it was badass.
Sometimes you gotta do again.
Sometimes you get a do-si-do.
You
Son
know.
of madness. It's madness. He needs to do the Sparta kick because his name's Son of
yes.
Madness. He's
Oh my
like,
God.
madness. and
That-
he just Sparta
All right,
kicks
I'm on
somebody
board
in
with that. That's pretty awesome.
His brainbuster is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Very
Absolutely.
clean. And
God,
Son of Havoc hitting the like the Muda special or
Oh,
the Sasuke
yes.
special in the corner.
Right.
Beautiful like crossbody off the second rope.
Oh my God, the height that he gets on that springboard crossbody.
Did we we didn't talk about it, but did you see at an indie show M-Dog 20 go for his counter and the rope broke?
No.
So his dive, like it either looks like he's going to dive and it's a fake out, or some guy Irish whip him into the rope, and he'll do the thing where like his arms go to the top rope
Yeah.
and his head goes under.
Yeah.
So the top rope snaps, dude.
Oh God.
And he just falls.
To
Yeah.
the like out of the ring.
Like he hits the bottom two ropes, then he rolls to the outside.
Okay.
But it just
Jesus.
it looked bad.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like thank God he's okay.
Yeah.
It was sketchy.
That can
And
be rough.
He wrestled the night before at Bar Wrestling and did a bunch of crazy shit. It was perfectly fine.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you realize that 300 is a decade old? By the way,
Are you kidding me?
isn't that wild? Over 10 years old now.
Simmons is old.
So yeah, this match was because I remember we weren't all that on board with
last
with
time
their
they fought,
first
wasn't
go
that good?
round. I think this more than made up for
Oh
it.
yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
And I think we were only bummed that first time around because we knew that these guys had
Can go.
this match in their
Yeah.
back pocket, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But amazing stuff.
I wonder-
It does make me wonder now that Son of Madness has kind of dropped 2 consecutive L's and we're getting close to the end of the season. Is this kind of the last that we'll see of him?
I hope not.
I hope not, right?
I hope we get like another big blowout between the two of them, and the mom shows up with bagel bites and is like, "You guys need to be brothers and friends."
Maybe that's exactly. We also saw the
Hey, Mrs. Havoc,
the
nice to see you
the
again.
Lucha Granny in the crowd tonight.
So great.
It reminded me of. Do you remember the stunt granny?
Oh yeah,
Of
she
course.
gives the thumbs up and shit.
With the autograph book.
Oh god.
Guys,
Pro Wrestling Secrets Revealed.
If you haven't
narrated
seen-
by Salem the Cat.
oh my God, that was Nick McKay, wasn't
really
it?
was.
Guys, if you haven't seen Wrestling's Greatest Secrets Revealed, I would be shocked if it wasn't on YouTube.
I was so.
It's
pumped
pretty
as a kid
incredible.
watching that.
Me too.
Oh man. Oh, it was so good.
It was pretty awesome.
And then I was trying to figure out who the wrestlers were.
Right.
Like, is that Ming? Who was that? I think Ming was like skullduggery.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, so good.
I gotta rewatch
Go
this.
YouTube that shit because
I remember because I think this was on around the time of like Magic's Greatest Secrets
Yeah,
Revealed, right?
I think that's what
With the
sparked
Master
it,
Magician, yeah.
And then there was
And Mitch Pileggi.
Pro Wrestling Secrets Revealed with like Killer Kowalski.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody else. Oh, so many. Good.
We're just gonna reminisce about old shit about wrestling from the
so
early
good.
90s.
It was great.
Mid-90s,
Because no
maybe.
one was ever like allowed to peek behind the curtain back
Right.
then. That's why Beyond the Mat was so amazing for everyone.
The other man was so
Oh
good.
shit. I'm not booked.
I don't see him as Denzel. I see him as Denzel's friend.
I love how when she says that, the other guy totally changes his whole story.
Oh.
He could definitely be a leading man. I think he'll be really good. Well, I don't see him as Denzel. I see him as Denzel's friend. He's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Denzel's friend. You're right. It's a great movie. We've run out of shit
You
to
mean-
talk about.
This is all the money I get for this? It's just like, here you go.
Well, that's our episode, guys.
The DVD on the trash can, that Death Valley
Oh my
Driver
God,
on
the
trash
Death Valley
can.
Driver on the trash can. I
was
love a
badass.
solid Death Valley Driver, whether onto a trash receptacle or not.
He finds a hammer.
A
And he's about to
hammer.
hit him with the hammer.
He was, please, hammer, don't hurt him.
Yeah.
He was, Bum rushes him. Bum rushes him while he's on the top rope. Is going to smash my man in the face with a hammer.
Yeah.
Luckily, Son of Havoc gets the drop on him, busts a bottle over his head like those old Cage vignettes that we used to see.
It would have been funny if someone from Aces and Eights would have tweeted him and been like, "Hey, that's our shit."
That's gimmick infringement, my man.
Wrong biker gang, asshole. They're like, you used a ball peen hammer, we used a claw hammer.
Oh, now we need like a wrestling version of Sons of Anarchy with like Aces and Eights, the Invisible Cult, DOA, all of the biker gangs.
The Los Bariquas?
The
Mayans?
Yep, exactly. The Bizlats, you know.
Shooting Star Press.
But yes, he follows up that bottle shot with a Shooting Star Press to get the win and one of the ancient Aztec medallions.
Who do you think's gonna win this Gift of the Gods?
The Gift of the Gods. Oh boy.
I have a feeling that the Rabbit Tribe is gonna make sure Paul wins it.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It really depends because, so right now we've got Paul London, Saltador, Mala Suerte, and Son of Havoc, as well as next week either Joey Ryan or I guess they're still calling him Cortez Castro because in Temple continuity they don't know that his name's Reyes.
No.
That's exclusively out of Temple continuity.
Yeah. He's still Spider whatever.
Veneno, yes,
Veneno.
exactly. I guess it really depends on what they do with those last two medallions.
Well, who do you think wins between Joey and
Reyes? I think Reyes is going to take it.
I was going to say I think Reyes is going to take it.
Reyes needs
Joey's,
it. Yeah, Reyes needs to win a lot more.
Yeah, Joey doesn't need it. He's shady. Mm-hmm. What's he going to do? Sell off his coin?
Exactly.
That would actually be kind of funny. Yeah. If Joey wins the coin and he's like, "Hey, but I'll sell it to you."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't care about championships.
He's like, what? I just need blow pops.
I'm just here to creep on people and eat my blow pops. So yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely pulling for Paul London to win it for sure, but I feel like it might be one of those things where they're trying so hard to get him to win it that they end up kind of doing the opposite. Costing him it.
Oh, that would be funny.
But who knows?
I would like that. And even if Paul wins it, he's going to have to defend it every week until he goes for the championship.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that.
So it'll be awesome to see the crazy shit he gets into.
Absolutely. But guys, thank you so much for joining us as always. Remember, if you're on YouTube, leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up. If you're on iTunes, down comments, review, subscribe, rate, 5 stars are nasty, all that good stuff. Yes?
A couple weeks ago, I was shooting something with this Olympic power lifter. His name's Derek Johnson.
Okay.
He's training for the 2020 Olympics.
Really?
And we're just filming, and this guy just goes into his love for Lucha Underground and legit like cut like a 20-minute promo.
Amazing.
And at times he would just stop and be like, "I'm not cutting a promo right now, but let me just tell you how much I love Lucha Underground." Like,
that's what the
women
Temple
fight,
does to
man.
people.
When women come out, it's not like, oh, she's gonna fight a man. They're all on the same page, equal fighting ground. He was going crazy, dude.
That guy's incredible. We gotta get him on the show.
I was telling him, I'm like, you need to come in and do the show.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Let's get Derek Johnson in
Derek
here.
Johnson.
Olympic
Shout out to
hopeful.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely. But Mr. Neil Plumley, are you there?
Nerd.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Will you hit us with that sweet outro music?
Sure, man. Yeah, just give me a second. You know, I'm feeling it. Hey,
Neil's still on island time.
Hey, brother.
you know, mahalo.
There we go. Guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back here, same time, same place, same channel, next week, Thursday night, 10 o'clock Pacific, talking the next episode of Lucha Underground. Until then, Jimbo, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth. Please check out XPac12360 this week with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was insane. Definitely hear what he has to say about Lucha Underground and tons of other things. And moving forward, subscribe to this wrestling channel that we're going to have at AfterBuzz, because all your wrestling content will be in one spot. And if you like Lucha, you'll probably like Raw. If you like Raw, you'll probably like SmackDown. And you're definitely going to like anything wrestling related, because we're all wrestling fans.
Very easy to find. Neil Plumley, where can they find you?
Oh, hey, mahalo for asking, bro. You guys can find me online, man. I'll be here at the Neil Plumley. That's TheNeil. Plumley, you know what I mean?
Fantastic. Guys, you can find me online, all forms of social media, at Ty Matthews PMA. Go on over to TyMatthews.com. Find me on the PlayStation Network, Ty Matthews PMA. Let's play some Overwatch. Let's play some Deathmatch now that update is hit. It's intense, but it's fun stuff. And make sure to check me out on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every Saturday, 4 p.m. Check those local listings, or if you're local to the area, every second and fourth Sunday of the month. It's completely free. It's on the beach. It's in Port Hueneme. Get some wrestling in your life, whether it's there, whether it's here. We hope it's here. But guys, until next week, Viva la Lucha.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Mahalo, guys.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.